Taylor Swift or Kim Kardashian?
Hirap ka agad.
Okay, doon tayo sa malakas agad. Beyonce versus Rihanna.
I would pick Rihanna over this one, pero dahil bias ko lang siya, hopefully just getting started. Do it, make mistakes, learn from those as fast as you can. That's the best way to start. Just the sooner you make mistakes, the sooner you get better.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna make mistakes until you start.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Built Different, a leadership podcast where we strive to make ourselves better through the different stories that we share every week. And for this episode, we are here at the studio of Shoppertainment. So thank you for the Shoppertainment team for letting us use this studio. Sobrang ganda. Ang ganda ng lights niyo, ang ganda ng background natin dito. And syempre, paired with a very good studio is our guest. So our guest is Mr. Carlos Benipayo, and he is a streamer, a content creator, and he do a lot of stuff, no? And you probably have seen him in YouTube. He does a lot of contents, amazing contents, and we're gonna talk more about his journey, his content creation, some of the tips, his workout routines, anything about the discipline, stuff like that. So, Carlos, thank you for joining us in this episode.
Happy to be here today. Let's do this.
Now, syempre, first of all, bro, thank you for accepting our invite.
Happy to be here.
Yes. So, thank you for making the time on anong araw ngayon? Wednesday, no?
Yeah, this
Wednesday
a Wednesday. Coding ako today. So, yep,
Same.
It's Wednesday. Okay, nice. Yeah.
Same. Pero dalawang sasakyan ko. Umalis ako na maaga para lang.
Right.
So, mukhang magiging stuck ako dito hanggang mamaya.
Yep, hanggang dito ka na magdi-dinner.
Yes. So, sakto naka-meal plan naman ako ngayon. Sponsored by? Wag natin babanggitin. Okay. So, yun. Now, usually naman what happens here in this podcast, we talk about a lot of things. Now, we talk about business, leadership, content creation. Now, I know that your specific niche and what you're really passionate about in doing is content creation. No? When people go to your social page on YouTube, on Instagram, they see a lot of video contents and you talk about a lot of things as well. Now, syempre, before we dive right in, can you give us a bit of a background? Paano mo nagustuhan ng content creation? Kasi it's a different ball game. Like, content creation, you have to treat it like a business because of the consistency, the ideas, the creative juices that has to go through the process. Walk us through, paano ka na in love dito sa proseso na to?
All right, so we have to break this down because to talk about content creation, we have to kind of go back to how it all started for me. I've never considered myself to be a creative person. I'm very open about that. I talk about it all the time on the stream. I'm not one to be a creative. I'm not artistic. I don't have, I can't sing. I can't dance. But I do know a thing or two about entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. And before I got into being a creator, I had an online food delivery business.
Okay.
And I ran this for I think close to 6 years.
Wow.
And then right before the pandemic, I closed down the business.
Okay.
Reason being, if the pandemic was in 2020, January 2020, mga October pa lang, I was getting brand deals out of thin air. A friend of a friend would come to me and say, here's a product, here's a phone, mag-video ka lang, and we'll give you this money. And I was like, for real? All I have to do is do that and you'll give me money? And of course, by then, it was pretty common already, but I never really quite understood. I don't want to say it's easy, but I didn't quite understand the way it worked and how it worked so easily. I would say siguro na ganun lang kabilis yung process of work, money, or
right.
Work, you get rewarded or paid for. Mm-hmm. So I closed out my business January because I had the idea that, hey, what if I take the things I've learned, the things I've experienced from entrepreneurship, and instead of managing all these different moving parts in a business, You have your accounting, you have your marketing, you have people management, and you have so
everything.
ang dami, diba?
Correct.
And what if I took all my learnings from there and just applied it to one moving part, to me? And so that's how I've always approached content creation. And lately, I've learned that in content creation, I think it's a lot of strategy as well. So maybe in the creative department, I don't see myself as being the best one at it. But when it comes to strategy, I think don't I can play that game. I can plan, I can put out content at certain periods at this pace. I know when to adjust. In a way also, I suppose, when it comes to analytics, na-appreciate ko siya. I've always been a logical person as well. So the numbers, knowing, kailan nagka-fall out. Oh, at 15 seconds, nawala na yung mga tao. Bakit? Ano sinabi ko at the 15-second mark? So, in that way, dun ko na-apply yung skill set na sa palagay kong meron ako naturally more than being creative. So, yeah, that's how I fell in love, and that's how it all started for me. And it's been 5 years since. So,
Wow.
nung pandemic, I think, nung pandemic, I think it was sometime if the pandemic happened in March, in April, an e-commerce brand approached me. Can we mention brands in here?
Pwede ba? I think so. Mali mo, ma-sponsoran tayo. Sige, go lang.
We can just bleep it out or something.
So bleep it out kapag bawal na lang.
Okay, so we'll say e-commerce brand approached me. Shopee approached me. O ayan, may mapagpipilian na sa cut.
Okay, sige.
Okay, so Shopee approached me and then they said, hey, Carlos, we need live streamers on the platform and we think you're a good fit. And at the time, that e-commerce platform, as a live streamer, your instruction was not to sell items. Because now when you go on that e-commerce platform, you go on the live streaming section, people are selling you things. Kasi live selling is now a thing, right?
Yeah.
But back then it wasn't.
Yeah.
And all they really wanted was for people to stay on the app. So they would find creators or people to stream on the app and talk about whatever they wanted. And then the viewers or people on that app watching you, yung hope nila is that eventually, because they're already on the app, the next step is may bibili na silang something.
Right.
So there's no live selling involved at all. So that's how I got into live streaming. And then they offered me a fixed rate for streaming monthly. And yeah,
it was the regular thing nung time na yun. So like, hindi siya one-off lang.
Yeah. It was. I did that for about 4 months, I think.
Okay.
I did that for about 4 months, but in that 4 months, another live streaming platform at the time, Kumu, approached me, and my friend from Kumu said, live stream ka dito.
Yeah.
It's different here. Dito, live stream the entire brand or the entire environment or culture is centered around live streaming. And then I said, nung una, parang sige, wag muna. Feeling ko di pa ako hasa dito sa pagla-live stream na to. And to be honest, I wasn't even sure I'd enjoy it. But yun na nga, I enjoyed it. We can talk about that later. But I enjoyed it. Next thing you know, I had to say goodbye to my manager over at that e-commerce platform.
Okay.
Kasi gusto ko na lumipat ng Kumu.
Right.
And just go at it full blast na.
Right.
Maging live streamer na.
I think siguro one of the main factors what made you really successful was the timing siguro. And I'm not sure if you would agree to that, because when pandemic hit, everything, especially online, was at its all-time high. Like the consumption of contents online, digital products, everything. But was it always parang a calling for you? Because not everyone, when they have this idea and then they experience the hustle na kailangan nilang gawin na, ganito pala siya. Pero was it like an instant love at first sight, kumbaga, sa'yo na, okay, I really like this. I see this doing this for the next, next decade. Parang ganun.
If I could be totally honest, I've always seen it as a job. Because yun na nga, I primed myself already when I closed down that business in January. Take note, it wasn't because of the pandemic that I closed the business. It was an intentional closing. So actually, that was good timing too. Now that you bring it up, na January kinlose down ko, March nag-lockdown.
Right.
So yes, because I already had to bring it back to what I was mentioning earlier. I saw content creation as a path to a career, like it's as a career path. Na yun na nga, I do this, I get paid, and then I do that enough, I can make a career out of it. So yeah, when the live streaming came, I saw it as a job. I saw it, is it sustainable? I wasn't sure yet. That's why hindi pa ako nagkukumu. But what I did like about live streaming and why I thought it was, and why I eventually thought that it was going to be a sustainable venture for me or a career for me is because I guess I was fond of the idea that I could be who I wanted to be on camera, and in many ways either be appreciated for it or find other people who are, I would say, equally strange like me, or have the same habits or quirks or interests as me. And we could talk, we could go on this platform and talk to each other and have fun and talk about random stuff too. And when I think about that, and every time I do think about that, it's what makes me keep falling back into live streaming. Kasi it's never the same. It's a different experience every day. And yeah, what better job, right? To be in than to be in a job where you can just be who you are.
Exactly. Kasi especially with the trend of whatever we're doing right now, sometimes, especially when you're working for someone, diba, you're always contained with this mindset now, oh, this is what the management probably wants, and I have this amazing idea, but I cannot push through with it kasi yun nga, ang daming limitations which is a beauty of being, self-employed or having your own, own venture. It's, you can do whatever you want, but you can own up, but you have to own up to whatever mistakes.
Oh naman, yeah.
Sure.
I think where we find ourselves in right now is called permissionless content.
Okay.
In permissionless media, I forget the technical term, but I remember for a fact that permissionless is one of the keywords. You have your traditional media.
Yep.
Diba? And like you mentioned earlier, in traditional media, kapag may gusto kang i-execute, may red tape. Papaalam mo sa boss, papaalam ng boss mo sa boss niya, and then you have to go through several regulations to find out if it's going to be okay. Next thing you know, your original idea has already been watered down and it's not even what you really wanted to begin with.
Correct.
But when it comes to permissionless executions or content, that's us. That's people of the internet. That's people that's creators who do whatever they want to do. Wala silang kailangan ipagpaalam or pagpaalaman ng gusto nilang i-execute or i-put out sa mundo. I mean, of course, there's that inherent consequence or inherent thing that you have to embrace na kapag nagloko ka or kapag may ginawa kang kalokohan online, you're cooked, you're done.
Yeah.
But at the same time, of course, you also have that kind of freedom that you enjoy in terms of being as creative or letting your imagination go wild, executing on it, and then putting it out for the world to see.
Yeah. And syempre, you as a person, when people go to your YouTube channel, na you do a lot of reaction videos as well, diba? So especially na kung ano-ano yung mga nakikita natin, and people tend to just react in, it's subject to self-interpretation, lahat naman na nakikita natin online. But what do you think is the danger of yung mga contents na sometimes may mga tao nang talaga na magpo-post na lang ng content without thinking what could be the possible consequences. And for you, for someone who is also aware of whatever is happening online and giving your 2 cents about it, what do you think people should keep in mind? Kasi sometimes hindi na siya nagiging healthy. And for me, my observation also is bakit may mga ganitong content that could be contained na lang sana in a private setting. May mga issues na lumalaki. It can either make or break some people, some businesses, diba? But what would be your 2 cents also on that kind of parang content ecosystem na, sige, publish natin, bahala na kung sino masira dito, kumbaga.
That's a complex question, I think, because there's so many angles to it, so
Right.
many ways to unpack that as well. So let's start first with why people are the way they are when they post content. And then maybe we can talk about like why people post that content and why don't they think about it? Yun na lang.
Sige, dyan tayo.
So,
Maraming pwede ma-stretch yun eh.
Okay, so why I think people post whatever they want to post is because, again, it's permissionless. They have an idea. They think it's gonna do good. And perhaps it does. And they get sucked into this idea of, validation online. And it's not always a bad thing. Validation is very, very healthy at good amounts. But I think it can also ruin you when all the things that you post get validated and nobody checks you anymore.
Right.
Right? I think sakit to ng biggest creators, because the reason why you do get to the top is because on your way to the top, ang daming yes. Lahat ng tao nag-agree sa sinasabi mo. Wala kang pwedeng sabihing mali. I've gotten here and I got here either because nobody really said no to me, everybody beside me said yes, or because sobrang galing ko lang talaga. Either way, it's very damaging. It's a very damaging mentality.
Yep.
And I think it gets worse too. We're going a little off tangent here. I think it's a little worse too when this kind of experience where you skyrocket to the top or you skyrocket in popularity begins at a younger age. Because when you're at a younger age, I think you're more impressionable.
Yeah.
I think I think that hindi pa kasing nuanced yung worldview. Don't get me wrong, of course there are many mature individuals, especially at younger ages. But yeah, again, the entire social media machine works on our emotions, and it knows exactly what to target. It knows exactly how to incentivize us to post more. So to go deeper into that question of why people post the way they do or why they like to post, it's because of that. I really think it's because of the reward system that social media has. Whether it's validation, whether it's money, whether it's the monetization aspect. Sometimes, diba, ito yung favorite ko eh. May ginawang kalokohan yung content creator. It goes national, super viral. So okay, alright, what am I gonna do as a creator? Ako yung may ginawang kalokohan. Siguro magpo-post ako ng apology video. Tapos imo-monetize ko na rin.
Yep.
Parang,
yeah.
para di ko maintindihan ko rin nangyayari dun eh. Diba?
Yeah.
Of course national yung issue. Of course it's gonna get a lot of attention. If I post an apology video, it's gonna get just as much attention. So might as well
capitalize on it.
But I mean, but at the same time, what options is a creator left with when they're faced with that situation? Of course, they have to apologize. Do I turn off the monetization button? Ideally, sure. But sometimes I think, not sometimes, but that exactly proves my point of how it's incentivized, of how weird we are incentivized by social media.
Yeah.
That answers the question, at least hopefully for me, why people post.
Yeah. Actually, kasi the reason why I also asked that is because, especially for me, I'm in the marketing industry, I'm in advertising. It's scary for me, even though it's our job to grab the attention of people. It's also scary for me. What are the possible consequences of what we are doing as well? And not just for what we're doing for brands, no, for companies, but everyone has an access to whatever type of content they want to post. And this is sometimes, syempre, for the most part, contents are not regulated. You can just, post it. And the chain reaction of what it could do and damage doon sa mga mga nagko-consume ng content, whether they're, minors. And there's a reason also why a lot of people, which I personally strongly believe that a lot of people are comparing themselves, diba, with, diba, that's a completely different topic. But for me, medyo may pagka-traditional kasi akong tao na, okay, your thing is your thing. Okay, whatever you're seeing on social media, those are through the products of the filters, whatever it is. Na I wanna be this main character, which is also damaging, and I am concerned with people. So, parang, sige, can you give me your 2 cents on that also? Yung mga ganyang, parang, this is just the facade.
I think it's perfectly all right for you to have an online persona. That's, for me, you're like, maybe if that's your shtick, that's your thing, that's your gimmick, you can have an online persona if you want. It can be a persona that's perhaps so different from who you are. It can be a persona that you only show to the public. And it could be for whatever reason. It could be maybe because you just want to be, it's your outlet for creativity. Maybe in real life, you're reserved. Maybe you're just somebody who's not, who doesn't want to be that funny. Maybe trip mo tahimik ka lang. I mean, we have so many celebrities who are good at what they're doing but openly exclaim na introverted sila talaga, di ba?
Right.
Maraming ganun. So it could be definitely a creative outlet. But to get to more of your point, where it becomes dangerous, I think, is when nagiging isa na lang yung naliligaw ka na. Hindi mo na alam
Kung sino ka.
And what's worse is, what if your character online is somebody who's a little bit on the edgier side? Yung medyo mas reckless and medyo mas makulit. Talagang medyo mas nagpupush. Somebody who pushes people's buttons. Right? Somebody who's a little more abrasive also. And then that character gets a lot of recognition and validation and acknowledgement. But ikaw, in real life, who you really are, it doesn't get a lot of love.
Correct.
So now, what happens, diba? That's why I say it's so much more dangerous when somebody much younger gets super popular quickly.
That's true.
Because I think their character doesn't get formed through life experience, through their personal experiences, but through the validations of others.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really true, and I agree on that. Especially with the side of for people who at a very young age gets the taste of success, fame, validation. Because no one, study all you want, but no one will teach you how to handle fame. Diba?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And we've seen this. We've seen it from artists, singers, celebrities na at least here in the Philippines, for the most part, our celebrities are always guided by their parents, diba? But from the other side of the world, parang doon makikita na, this is the effect pala ng at a very young age you get to a certain point. But yun. But yeah, going back dun tayo sa content creator world, no? So, kasi especially over the past, lalo na since the pandemic na the creator landscape has drastically skyrocketed, and everyone wants to be a creator, diba? Gusto ko maging content creator because I am inspired by the contents that you post. They are inspired by the contents na pinopost ng mga favorite content creators nila, and then they aspire also to be that. What do you think is your parang generic, kasi syempre kanya-kanya ng starting point, but what do you think is the generic starting point for anyone who wants to go into kung tinatawag natin sa business, red ocean, or medyo marami ng content creators na gusto ngayon eh? So yun, what do you think would be the best action step?
The best way to start? I listen to podcasts that deal with this kind of dilemma, or I watch a lot of YouTube videos as well that talk about being a creator or how to sustain it, how to get started. And there are so many ways to. I've heard so many different approaches, and all of which I would say are equally valid, and it adjusts depending on who you are. But honestly, the one common thing among all of these gurus or mentors who teach about content creation is to just get started.
Right.
Because oftentimes when people want to start, and I've seen this firsthand myself when I have friends also, and it did happen it happened to me. It also happened to my friends. Oftentimes when we want to get started with being a creator or creating a career out of this, they want to lay out some kind of planning ahead and getting things perfect. Kailangan pulido na. Kailangan I have this gear. I'm able to execute on my speech or on my spiel perfectly. Dapat meron na akong 5 future videos na nakapark. And then before you know it, you never got started. Before you know it, hindi naman sa tinamad, pero there's a quip for this, a term, or paralysis by analysis.
Analysis paralysis.
Yun,
Yeah.
parang wala na, napako ka na because you never got yourself lifted off, because one problem is just thinking about one problem might just make you think about more problems related to that problem. So yeah, I know it's kind of a cop-out answer or it's a non-answer, but hopefully just getting started, do it, make mistakes, learn from those as fast as you can. That's the best way to start. Just the sooner you make mistakes, the sooner you get better.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna make mistakes until you start.
For based on your experience, no, kasi syempre when you're creating a content, you have to make people stick to the content as much as possible until the end, diba? Sinasabi nga ni Mr. Beast na retention talaga ang key metric niya talaga for a lot of his YouTube videos. For your own process, like how do you study yung sigurado, kasi you mentioned it earlier nga na nag-drop sila at this second, ano sinabi ko, ganyan. How do you make people stick to the content, and how do you make people wanting more from you dun sa paggawa ng mga contents ng ganong klase?
So the question is,
what's your parang formula ba, kumbaga, in layman's term, on making people, or how to make people stick to the content na ginagawa mo?
Right. It's very difficult for me to give out my formula, because my formula is unique to me, and it's built around who I am as a creator. So although I can talk about it, although I can say it, and pwede nating himayin, it may not necessarily be applicable to other creators. But what I do as a creator is I react to I react to internet culture.
Yeah.
Kung anong trending, anong nangyayari, meron bang character on the internet that we all know who did something for good, who did something bad? Is there something to learn from it? So for the most part, for as long as, and this is not my original answer, this is actually an answer that I'm inspired from. Are you familiar with Marques Brownlee?
Yes.
MKBHD?
MKBHD.
He did say it na parang for as long as the tech DAO is interesting, then he's gonna have something interesting to talk about, and hopefully that keeps people engaged. So it kind of works the same as me, because I'm not necessarily the creator of the content. I'm reacting to the content. And I think it's people's not attraction, but it's people's affinity to the way I react to the content that keeps them on. So I would say, to answer your question a little bit more directly, na for as long as merong balita or may internet happenings na pwedeng pag-usapan, and I react to it as truthfully and as truthfully as I can, and while sticking to who I really am, I think I could at least hopefully I could remain interesting to people watching my content. Maybe it's when I totally, like, I react to something and then I don't stick to my character. I mean, I don't really have a character online, but maybe I go off script. I mean, again, wala akong character, wala akong script online, but let's say I react to something, but then I react to it in a way that's totally not me. And that might get people off guard, and it might not be the best idea to execute on or to sustain viewership. So yeah, as long as I'm myself, and for those who want to be creators, as long as they stick to who they are, or stick to if they have a character, stick to that character, maintain that consistency. I think everybody, including myself, will do just fine.
Yeah, and also probably you'll attract the right people for you kasi they like the persona that you're showing, no?
Yeah. I think that's what live streaming has taught me mainly. There are many live streamers who can pull off a character for hours at a time.
Right.
But when you're talking in front of a camera for 1, 2, 3, 4 hours, lilitaw din at lilitaw kung sino ka eh. And so I thought I'm not creative, nor am I artistic enough to maintain or sustain a character for that amount of time. Might as well just be me. And if people like that, then great. If they don't, well, I hope they're not too mean on the internet.
Yeah. You know, kasi we were talking about this earlier, no? Especially with the streaming ecosystem here in the Philippines. Na you're doing your streaming on YouTube. Yeah,
yes.
Correct. So you do it Monday to Thursday, correct?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so Monday to Thursday.
Sometimes Fridays.
Sometimes Fridays.
Yeah.
Ano yung dependency kung trip mo mag-Fridays?
Pag walang lakad or wala akong foresee na plans every Friday, I'll do it. Because I think being a creator, we don't really have to talk about it that much, but being a creator, it's no work, no pay.
Oh, for sure.
For sure. So if I could pull off a Friday, I do it.
Yeah. Okay. So yun nga, kasi especially on social media, no, and yung mga younger demographics could probably relate to this na we have some of the most popular streamers like iShowSpeed, sila Kai, or sila KSI. So nagsi-stream pa rin naman sila. And that is a segment that is focused primarily on the Western. But I want to pick on your brain also because streaming is not really like yun yung available knowledge ko in terms of marketing, branding, stuff like that. What do you think is like the trajectory of the streaming industry here in the Philippines? On your own experience.
All right. So to begin with, I have very limited knowledge about this topic because I can only really speak for myself and what I see. Kumbaga, I think somebody who might know more about this would be somebody who studies trends talaga for a living. But based on what I see, I think we are still a little too parang bata pa lang ang live streaming dito. It still hasn't yet taken off full blast. Yeah, it's at its infancy. Primarily because the kind of content that, or at least the kind of content that we see online when it comes to live streaming is not yet that varied. We're still talking about the best streamers or the ones who perform the best on the internet when it comes to live streaming are still singers. People who sing on stream, get requests from their supporters and get paid for or get rewarded for singing their song requests. And I would love to see more. By the way, I don't want to put anybody down, or I don't want to. I don't mean anything by singing ang content natin dito, and parang it's not good. Of course, it's okay as long as we have streaming. Buhay ang streaming, but yeah, I would love to see more varied content online. I would love to see streamers talk about so many different things and explore many different kinds of topics. Because apart from singing, there's gaming. But apart from those two things, maybe I could be wrong. Maybe I don't watch enough local streamers. But we're very limited. In the US or in other countries, there is this specific genre called just chatting. Just chatting is basically just talking to your audience,
Yeah.
or letting the stream of consciousness flow from
Yep.
one topic to another. Kung meron kayong gustong pag-usapan natin yan. Pinag-uusapan natin ang NBA. Okay, ano meron sa NBA? Napunta tayo sa Kardashians. Kasi jowa nung Kardashian yung nasa NBA. Okay, let's talk about the Kardashians. We're talking about TV shows now. Have you seen this? So kumbaga talaga may stream of consciousness that just goes from one topic to another. I'd love to see more of that. Because there are so many talented people who are just natural at conversations. And, I would love to see them live stream and be successful at it. And yun na nga, in other countries, that's the norm. It's now overtaken most forms of live streaming. Whereas dito, again, it's a lot of singing and a lot of gaming.
Yeah.
Would love to see more varied content.
Yeah, especially dito sa Philippines, no. If there's something that I observed in terms of content topics, it's really on the entertainment side. Kasi we are fairly more mas nagko-consume tayo rather ng contents that make us fun, make us laugh, make us more of like nagsaspark yung interest natin na talaga ganyan pala siya. So more of like mga celebrities, especially nung pandemic, that's the rise of talagang nag-skyrocket sila Kong, 'di ba? Kasi primarily it's content talaga that entertains. But for you kasi you also talk about finance, 'di ba? You also talk about like yung mga other reaction videos. If you doon sa mga discussions mo and if i-categorize mo siya, what do you think are the topics that people react most to? Like, if you talk about money, do people, like, you get the reaction talaga na hinahanap mo? Or if you talk about medyo kalokohan, mas grabe ba yung reaction ng mga tao? Mas grabe ba yung engagement? What do you think is, like, yung sarili mong trend?
It definitely, tama, sarili kong trend. It definitely depends on the audience that I attract. And it will vary per creator because some creators might attract a viewership that is interested in different topics than my audience. So particularly my audience, food works a lot.
Okay.
The topic of food, because I think in general, food is very relatable.
Yeah.
Chismis is the best, but I don't like to dive too deep into it, especially if it doesn't have a lot of basis. Like I like the idea of talking about other people, but only if we have grounds for it. Meaning to say, may chismis. Kunyari, sige, may chismis, may drama yung pamilya ni ganito. Okay, let's talk about it. But then, if it's pure chismis na wala man lang basehan or we don't have information about it, I don't want to go too deep into that yet. Antay tayo. I'm sure may lalabas dyan na more information. I would love to see this develop some more, ganyan. Pero let's say there's enough information about it. Let's say there's something that there's tangible stuff that we could add to the conversation. Yeah, let's talk about it. Is there something to learn from it? Itong pamilya na to, controversial sila kasi ito yung ginawa nila sa ganitong pamilya, sa kabilang pamilya. Okay, sure, let's talk about it. It sounds fun. Talking about, we're not completely oblivious to talking about other people or having fun discussing about other people's lives. We literally watch vloggers go about their lives, get coffee, and call it a day. So, syempre, kapag pag-uusapan natin yung intriga sa buhay ng iba, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, pinaka-importante sa akin, ano yung mapupulot?
Yeah.
Or maybe, are we missing something? Maybe ito yung naibalita, ito yung kumakalat ng chismis, pero teka lang, parang yung kwento may kulang. Why are we not getting that side of the story? Why are we not getting a more nuanced view on it? Why does it seem like binabash niya lang yung tao? I don't want to say walang substance, pero walang there's nothing more to it other than just hating on somebody. I try my best to shy away from topics like that.
Kwento mo yan, bida ka. Parang mga ganun. No? So, actually, maraming ang ganun. No? And personally, I also wanna hear, like, especially kapag may mga ganyang chismis, kumbaga, that sparks my interest. Ano, I can't ignore yung hindi ako magre-research eh. So I need to really go deep kung saan mang source yan, and then I'll try to connect. Kasi especially with part yan ng pagiging parang responsible internet user or content consumer.
Yeah, of course.
Diba? We don't believe lang kung ano yung let's not believe kung ano lang yung nakikita natin. Especially right now, anyone. Kaya ang dami ring nasa scam. Ay, nako, kung ano-ano yung nakikita natin, kung ano yung mag-pop, papaniwalaan natin yan, and then we'll share it, and then other people, it's a chain effect. It's gonna be a compounding effect. And speaking of, I noticed nga na may story ka, and may story ka about you getting scam for 14,000. Ano? I was listening to it, pero
yung scam.
I'm not sure kailan ba to? Kailan to nangyari?
I think it happened sometime last year. I think Christmas.
Christmas.
I wanted to get a birthday gift. A Christmas gift for my dad.
Okay.
Yeah,
clickbait natin to. Na-scam ka na.
Na-scam si Carlos. Pag-uusapan niya behind the scenes.
Yung
mga hindi niya sinasabi.
Pero it's Christmas. Well, very
was
timely.
Christmas. Yeah. I don't think I can recall the story or at least tell the story as good as I was able to for the video that I put out. But essentially, it was a very well-executed scam. It's not a top-level scam na nagbigay ka ng pera and then hindi niya dineliver sa'yo, binlock ka niya. It's not like that. Like, it's more complicated, and I mean, at the end of the day, there could have been stuff that I did na para maiwasan yun, because hindsight is 2020, but at the time I acted on the best possible on the best possible things that I could para ma-secure na totoo yung item na kukunin ko, and magaling lang talaga yung scam eh. Yeah, so please watch the video if you haven't watched it yet.
Alam niyo na, nandun ng complete details. Dito yung lang natin, snippet lang natin. Pero yeah, actually, the reason why I'm jumping from different topic kasi I'm trying to pick on some keywords na sinasabi mo. Kasi if we talk about yung scam, even for me, this is still related pa rin naman on what we consume online. Ako personally, kasi I wanna pick on your brain, especially as a streamer, and you react to a lot of videos. You've seen way more parang discussions than me, kasi I don't do it like, okay, pag nag-trend lang siya, doon ko lang siya mapapansin, di ba? But yun nga, going back, circling dun sa scam part na, ay, nako guys, kahit for sure you're doing a lot of due diligence, especially online, pero na biktima ka pa din dun, di ba? And for me, almost na ako, but
so hindi ka pa nasa-scam?
Never. Awa na Diyos.
Kahit sa video game, ganyan? Like,
wala. Sorry, medyo matagal na ako hindi naglalaro ng mga games.
Yeah. How do be you, man? I've gotten scammed quite a few times. Pero yun na yung pinaka malupit.
Super outdated, especially for games. Dota 1 pa ang alam ko. As in, ganun na ako kalayo na And the reason why I'm trying to avoid mga games, kasi yung addiction level ko talaga pag na-immerse ako sa isang bagay, it's impossible. Pag bumili ako ng PS5, mga businesses ko babagsak yan kasi nagpi-PS.
Yeah, because you wanna be the best, or you wanna progress, tangible gains sa game na to.
Exactly. Yeah. Ganun mismo yung ko. So, awa ng Diyos. But just to share, kasi girlfriend ko noong time na yun received a call kasi from a bank, which yung bank na yun, I used to work with that bank before. So, and then they were asking na, may na-charge po na ganito, certain amount. We're gonna send you a one-time PIN, and then please send niyo po sa amin yung PIN na yun, ganyan. And then the conversation went for about 30 minutes, and I was listening. I was doing my own stuff on the side, and I was kind of listening. Sabi ko, parang hindi ganyan yung line of questioning namin dati.
Yeah.
And then, okay, sige, nandito sila sa bank na to. You never give your OTP. That's I think this is mandated by Bangko Sentral ata. You never give your one-time pin. And then they were asking for the one-time pin. Strike one. Okay. And they were kind of parang they want her to do it right then and there. Strike two. Ito pa, they used the same domain of that bank na nasend nila sa email to prove na okay, legit sila. And when I check, first thing sabi ko, okay, legit yan. Okay, nung nakita ko na siya, sabi ko, and then dun sa mga line of questions, sabi ko, speaker mo nga, papakinggan ko lang. Sabi ko, tanong mo nga kung sino yung boss nila. Kasi hindi sila makapagbigay. Sabi ko, sino na lang yung parang sabi mo ng team leader nila or any person in that department na, kasi I know doon sa lahat ng department nila, never sila nakapagbigay. And then I told them, sabi ko, mute mo, ibaba mo na yan kasi that's a scam. What if just a regular person, wala namang knowledge kung sino yung tao dun sa loob, and then using the same email, they're able to send a one-time pin using the name of the bank dun sa domain. Circling back dun sa sinabi mo na, it's all well planned.
Yeah, scammers, man. Imagine if they put that energy into doing something more productive.
Yep.
Sobrang galing nila. They could actually be successful in their own right. Not as scammers, but as maybe entrepreneurs or creative people or maybe in their job. Sayang sa talino nilang yun. Feeling ko
That's true.
They can come up with something nice.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, nakikita ko, I'm not sure if you've seen this content creator who's promoting na kung mag-illegal ka kaysa sa magko-corporate ka. Ewan ko nakikita mo di ba nakikita mo yun?
Yan ba yung parang bata? Like he's on the early 20s.
Yes, early 20s.
I think I'm familiar with
yung kung mag-illegal ka lang, huwag ka lang magiging greedy kasi doon ka na mahuhuli. Pero it's funny yung mga content sila. Yung iba ata ginawa, sineryoso ata nila yung Pero it's very interesting. Pero again, yun. So, a lot of businesses na yung kung ano-anong lumilitaw ngayon that it's affecting everyone for their hard-earned money. Pero again, it still boils down. This is still connected, guys, to be careful with what you are seeing online, what you are consuming, yung mga pop-up links. May mga pop-up na biglang pag clinic mo, it's gonna crawl wherever in whatever doon sa device mo.
I've heard about that one na parang telecom services will always tell you never click on any link. We will never send you any link.
Yes. That's true.
They're just so crafty these days. Meron din ako nakuhang note advisory from telecom, sabi hackers hijack our cell sites to be able to send you messages that say our name. Kasi minsan makakuha ka ng message from Globe, message from BDO, BPI. That's literally a scam message, but it's also from them.
Yeah.
So yun yung parang, can you imagine na they're so good at what they're doing in scamming na marunong sila mang hijack ng mga cell sites.
Para
para makapag-scam.
Pero ang galing nun ng hack na yun. Parang the company should hire them.
Yeah, right.
Diba? So parang that's a different level of of knowledge for you to scam. And we would assume na itong mga kinukuhanan nila or yung mga hinahack nila is like nasa top tier security level na yung mga ginagawa nila, no? Pero that's very interesting na dati nakikita lang natin sa mga movies pero ngayon nakikita na natin sa Pilipinas.
Philippines number one.
Number one tayo. So at least sana hindi tayo mag-number one sa kalokohan yung mga ganyan.
Please.
Nag-number one na tayo sa boxing, nag-number one na tayo sa singing.
Sa weightlifting. Nag-gold din tayo. Sa gymnastics, di ba?
Pero did you play any sport or do you play any sport right now?
No, I don't. I don't play any team sports, but if you consider bodybuilding a sport as an individual sport, I do that.
Okay.
But I don't do it professionally as a hobby.
As a hobby?
Yes. So I love lifting weights. I've always, since I was very, as a teenager. So I started lifting weights as a teenager, fell in love with the process. Always thought that it's an area of my life where I can just be alone with my thoughts. And I like
introvert
that too.
Ka.
Yeah, introvert. Like naturally, I'm introverted. I think this entire live streaming career for me is a learned extroversion. But if I don't have to do it, I'll choose to be an introvert. So yeah, when it comes to social events, I'll talk to everybody. I'll be social. I'll do what I have to do.
Right.
But it's because I have to do it.
Right.
But if I were given a choice, I'll just probably chill at home magbubuhat na lang ako. But I like the idea where, gym offers this space of introspect where I could just sit with my thoughts, process, be in my own world. I think that's majority of my life. I've always had my world inside my head. The world is not what I see. It's what's going on inside my brain. So yeah, hitting the gym, allows me to be more myself. And it's nice to have gains, di ba? Maganda rin naman magka abs.
Gains. Kailangan na natin bumalik talaga.
Balik na kayo.
Medyo na busy lang sa mga responsibilities sa life eh. Pero yan. Well, yeah, kasi the reason why I'm asking that, syempre, when we saw you, sabi ko, halata na nagbubuhat talaga. The discipline there, the chest is pumping in. Pag parang nagpump ata nun sa rubber na, yung tension band na. Pero yeah, kasi syempre, working out is also a way for a lot of people to release stress. Me being
100%.
Being a former athlete na kahit minsan nawawala ako sa workout, dun sa workout parang pace ko. I always find myself na babalik pa rin ako.
What sport did you used to play?
So I played taekwondo for 10 years.
Okay.
And
competitively also?
Yes, competitive.
Okay.
Nationals and mixed martial arts, I trained for 5 years. So, yun naman, hindi siya yung talagang URCC type. I was kind of like, okay, medyo marami-rami na ako injury. Damihan pa natin injury natin. Mag-MMA tayo. So, oy, wala. Mabait po ako. Okay. Pero yun, it's more of parang even up until now, since sanay ako for over past 15 years na ganun yung sport ko na it's high intensity, always training. And when I was playing taekwondo, we trained 3 times a day talaga. We do a lot of tune-up trainings with different universities, different teams. Ngayon kapag, syempre, medyo gumagano na yung mga joints natin because of 15 years worth of injuries. Yung mga chill sport, hindi ko siya na-enjoy.
Right. Probably the competition aspect na miss mo ba?
Yes.
The winning, the losing.
Yes. Yung
the grind,
parang,
the prep.
The grind, the tension. Yun yung the tension always na syempre before parang in taekwondo during nung time namin na talagang physical pa talaga yung taekwondo. Parang for you to win gold in one night, you have to win 6 fights. So, syempre, minsan may mga time pa nga, lalaban ka 8 a.m. first fight. Ang next fight mo 5 p.m.
Wow.
Tapos after 30 minutes, tatawagin ka ulit. Tapos yung last na kapag super laki ng competition, minsan yung last fight mo is gonna be 2 a.m., 3 a.m. na.
Are you saying that the reason why hindi ka na-engage sa sports na tinatry mo gawin ngayon is because parang it no longer gives you that kind of grind or yung hirap na hinahanap mo?
Yes, for sure.
Or perhaps maybe even walang purpose yung sport na gagawin mo ngayon. Kasi dati, pag nagtitrain ka dati, may reason.
Yes.
May reason because you wanna win, you may competition, you're gonna prep. Now, if you train, what am I doing this for?
Pag nag-workout, okay, I need to hit this specific body weight, yung BMI ko. After nun, what's next?
Yeah.
What's next? Pero before, kasi my last MMA tournament was 2016. Yun yung last na talaga na-injure talaga. Twisted kneecap ako nun eh. So, parang even regardless of how tedious yung time ko talaga, I still find time to go train ng gabi. So, sabi mo na 9 to 12 ng madaling araw magte-train ako kasi I have to go sa corporate pa. There's always a goal na hahanapin ko and na ini-aim ko. Tapos after nun, which I believe, sinabi rin ni Michael Phelps to na after season of training ng Olympics, talagang nag-iiba yung mental state na it really affects them doon sa ano nila, nagkakaroon sila ng depression because the intensity
I heard
is
that
not
story.
available na eh. Ganun. So I think I experienced it for yung fair share of experience ko as being an athlete.
I heard that story about Michael Phelps, and it was also parang reading it was also a little hindi naman disheartening, pero parang I felt his pain in a way. Not that I'm a competitive athlete or anything, but the way he said it, sabi niya, imagine dreaming the biggest dream you could ever dream.
Yeah.
And then achieving it. What's next?
Yeah.
Can you dream anything bigger than the biggest dream you've ever dreamt? Wala na eh. Diba? And he already, parang hearing that, kind of sounds depressing, diba?
Yeah.
What's next? He already got all the he's the most decorated Olympian, if I'm not mistaken, right? And I think after that fall off, he was also removed from Nike, if I'm not mistaken, because he was caught smoking something he shouldn't be smoking at the time, and then I think Under Armour got him. And then Under Armour got him, believed in him, and then he won his last few gold medals. And forever na siyang etched in humanity as that athlete who achieved so many things.
Yeah,
like
he's the
best
greatest
achievements.
Olympian actually. He's the greatest Olympian, one of the greatest Olympians that ever lived. Pero yun nga, kasi these types of people like the likes of Michael Phelps, Kobe Bryant, the legends talaga. Wala silang ibang ginawa since pagkabata. Yun talaga eh, 'di ba?
Yeah, that's why injury is crazy to them, 'di ba? Pag na-injure sila, guguho talaga yung mundo nila.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of the game, that's part of, but at least the discipline will stick. The work ethic will stick. Yung pag-workout mo pa nga lang, you have to, kahit hindi mo gusto, pumunta sa gym. You'll have to drag yourself to the gym. Diba? So, pero eto, last question. Siguro, probably last two questions.
Okay.
In terms of discipline, kasi I'm a fan of, the discipline talaga helps you, kahit gano'n ka motivated, discipline talaga is really a key part of anyone's success. How do you stay disciplined? Kasi the physical appearance pa lang is already a manifestation of discipline. You work out, you eat right, you speak well. So that's part of the discipline. Parang how do you stick to that?
You're right when you said that motivation is what gets you started, discipline is what gets you going. It's something I think a lot of us are familiar with already. But to answer, I get that question fairly often on stream, and I never really have one answer that I stick to. But if I were to think of an answer right now, how do you stay disciplined? It has to be for a purpose perhaps that's greater than you. Maybe you're living for your family. Maybe you want a longer life for your kids. Maybe you want to be there for as long as you can so that you could watch your nephew grow up and graduate. I think that's one of the coolest ways to stay disciplined is to look for a purpose that's greater than your own personal ambitions. And in that way, masustain mo siya. Masustain mo siya. But if I could give you another answer apart from that, one would be in terms of physical health. Well, you only really have one body, right? For the rest of your life, you have no other choice. You can't swap. You can't trade it off. You can't. Huwag mo naman ibenta, no? Huwag mo benta katawan mo. Pero,
trip mo yun, go na. Nasa sa'yo yan.
But you can't. You're stuck with it for the rest of your life. You might as well treat it the best way that you could. It's very practical. I like practical approaches also. So take care of yourself, take care of your body, and the benefits do compound. The dividends do come. And I think I've given that entire discipline from look bigger than yourself. Look beyond yourself. I've also given motivation that it's very practical. If there's one that's a little more vain, a little more superficial, but maybe that works for some. Again, getting into the gym or getting into physical fitness, many reasons to start. But yeah, again, if there's a vain reason for you to start or to keep going, just think of your fitspiration. I don't know if that word is even used these days. Pero fitspiration.
Inspiration.
Diba? That fitness idol you've probably been looking at, or one of the very first ones that you found motivational.
Mm-hmm.
Look at them when they were young or when you first saw them, and look at them today. Chances are they barely aged. So
that's true.
Just think about it. Think about your idols. They look the same.
Yeah.
And because physical fitness, the more that you use your body, the more that your body has reasons to stay young. It's not aging itself because it's being used all the time. So if it ages itself, it's to its own detriment. Kasi, pero if you don't use it, it has no reason to sustain itself. It's nature's own way of dealing with things, right? Use it or lose it. Yun yung
That's true.
term
Actually,
for it.
totoo yan no? Kasi like Mark Wahlberg, medyo hindi naman masyado nagbago yung itsura niya.
Yeah.
Mas naging mature, no?
Yeah.
Conor McGregor. Like, fitspiration. Siyempre, dapat at least physically fit functional training. Makita mo yun sa ano talaga nila, no? Sa look nila na, okay.
Just look at Kobe.
Yes.
Kobe looked the same
Yep.
when he was 17 all the way until he is 40.
Mm-hmm.
Kobe looked the same. Mga athletes, they look the same.
Yeah. Iba yung mga discipline. Kasi syempre kapag nakikita natin sila na naglalaro na, no? Parang, okay, magaling siya. Pero, my God, I mean, I know a lot of athletes na even kahit local athletes to, iba ang pinagdadaanan talaga nila off the game talaga. Even off season, magkaroon lang yan ng cheat day once or twice. Pero babalik pa rin yan sila sa ano.
Yeah, they're committed. They're a whole different animal talaga.
Yeah, totoo.
Gagaling ng mga to.
Totoo. I mean, kaya being an athlete, as much as possible, if the kids can start doing sports as early as possible, yung mabuild ba yung disiplina na, okay, so, pag natalo ka, talo ka. There's no excuses.
Like that. Yeah.
There's no last place trophy.
Yeah.
You have to earn your way to getting it.
Yeah,
talaga.
growing up, I have a story to tell. I remember I was in grade 7 yata. Meron ba kayo sa class nyo dati parang group or class elocution where your entire class recites a poem in front of your entire batch?
Wala.
Okay, so meron kaming ganun. 13 yung sections namin. Sa Ateneo.
Okay.
So grade 7, meron kaming i-memorize na poem. And then as a class, and then yung talagang kakaririn ng teacher. Kasi syempre, pride din ng teacher yun kung manalo sila, di ba? Kung manalo yung class. So your homeroom advisor would coach you, magte-training kayo, you're gonna do this. And then you memorize the poem, you execute it properly. And then you recite it in front of your entire batch. So okay, we did that. I wasn't handed a unique role. I was just one of the people in class speaking together with the class. So okay, but I did the best that I could because bit-bit ko yung klase ko and it's nice, right? So we talk about it in class. And I mean we execute on it and we finally recite the poem in front of the batch. Okay, great. All right, I feel like we can win. Kaya to. And so awarding time na. Every class does it. From the first class to the 13th class, everybody does it. Okay, award time na. Yes, please. I hope we win. And then best in audience impact. Okay, itong si section. All right, sige, clap. Best in delivery. Itong section. Okay, clap. Best in best in organization. Itong section. Clap. Next thing you know, teka lang, bakit lahat may trophy? Para lahat kami nananalo. I really wanted to be gusto ko podium finish, third, second, or first place.
Yeah.
Again, wala naman akong unique role, pero talagang gusto ko yung class ko yung manalo. So going back to what you said earlier, sports teaches us that. Because tayong millennial. Are you a millennial?
Yes.
Okay, tayong millennial. I think we were spoiled a little bit too much with participation trophies. And I didn't really know what that meant until much later on. So when you said that sports teaches us to be losers, teaches us how to lose, teaches us how to win gracefully, I really do think sports is good for the youth.
Bro, I mean, I remember before, like I'm training for a national level tournament for about 3 months, 6 months, and then on my second fight, I lost. Bro, I mean, kasi sa taekwondo may elimination pa yun bago ka magkaroon ng bronze. So imagine like the mental disappointment na
your heartbreak mo.
Heartbreak mo, uuwi. Siyempre yung brother ko, national team din kasi yung brother ko sa taekwondo. So Philippine team siya. So minsan ina-expect niya mag-gold ako. So papasok, sabi niya, sige mamaya na ako pupunta pagtapos na ng elimination. Tapos magugulat na lang yan, papasok na ako sa kwarto dati. Talo ka, no? Sabi ko, talo ko. Yung ganun ba na, kailangan mo pagdaanan yan. Kaya I still believe right now na yung ganung experience ko, parang kaya ang taas ng endurance ko in stress din talaga. Yung may kalyo ba, kumbaga.
Yeah, kalos ka na sa experiences mo.
May iba nagtatanong, paano mo na-handle yan? I've been to worst. Okay.
Yeah.
Na ganun siya. It's part of life, which I'm very proud of na experience ko yun.
Do sports. Lose.
Do sports.
Lose a lot. Learn a
just
lot.
Do it.
Just do it.
Yun. Siguro last question. What's next for you?
What's next for me? So I have a community when I live stream, and we're called Benifam. I really, really want to do cool things for Benifam. What's next for me would be our 5th year anniversary this coming September. And what we normally do is we get together, right? We get together every so often, every quarter, and then so September we celebrate our anniversary. I really want to make it special for Benifam this year because it's our 5th year together. And I like it every time we come together because we're many different kinds of people. So yeah, hopefully with the time that I have to prepare for it, I do come up with something that's going to be memorable, not just for me, but for all the members of the community.
Right. So if you want to invite them, like, where should they go to join the community?
Right. Well, we're on Discord. We're on Discord right now. So just hit me up on Discord. The links are in the bios of my social media.
Okay, perfect. So before we wrap things up, as mentioned earlier, magkakaroon tayo ng game. Quick game. But before we do a quick game, mag-break muna tayo.
Whew. A lot of insights there, huh? Before we get back to it, a word from our sponsors.
The Built Different podcast would like to thank Henry's Cameras, Power Mac, Hollyland, U Green Philippines, Shoppertainment Live, Kappa Cabina, Surge Digital Media, Madcap Productions, Days Media Group, Jazz Up Communications.
Alright, so hello everyone and we are back. So as promised, maglalaro tayo ng simple game lang naman. Syempre, since majority of our discussion, we talked about contents online, some of the influencers, some of the content creators, and we're gonna play a game. So this is just gonna take us a couple of questions. No?
Okay.
And the game goes like this. So I'm gonna give you 2 famous names.
Okay.
And you must decide who would win in the internet today.
All right.
Okay.
I like this.
So,
let's do it.
If they dropped something like... So, who would win if they dropped something like a viral tweet, a stream, or a drama bomb, or a new project? So, mostly talagang yung influence nila in the internet today. No?
Do I have to give a explanation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, this should be... so, the thought process should be in terms of like the hype, the reach, and the impact. Okay? Sige. So 2 names, whether they're celebrity, artists, streamers, creators, ganyan. Okay?
Alright.
So, names. First pair of names. Taylor Swift or Kim Kardashian?
Hirap ka agad.
Okay. Doon tayo sa
Let's
malakas
see,
agad.
let's see. Okay, Taylor Swift, Kim Kardashian. I think Taylor Swift is gonna win. I think she
Okay.
has broader appeal. Then again, Kim Kardashian has changed and influenced culture for a very long time. But I think right now the Kardashians themselves could be, slowly, purposefully, voluntarily, kind of, probably going away from the limelight for whatever reasons that they have. Pero si Taylor Swift, tuloy-tuloy lang yung laban niya. Never, walang kupas talaga. Like high school pa lang ako, Taylor Swift
naman.
na.
Oo naman.
Ngayon, Taylor Swift pa rin.
Taylor, nagpapahinga lang siya. Napagod siya sa world tour niya. No? Pero parang I observed din also no, during the peak of Taylor Swift, ang fino-front act niya si Sabrina Carpenter kasi yun yung magiging parang next tapping on the same audience.
Yeah.
Diba? So,
what's crazy is Taylor Swift, if I'm not mistaken, because, sometimes you like talking about business also. Taylor Swift moves economies.
Yeah.
Kasi pag nakaka-concert siya sa
That's true.
country.
That's true. Kaya, di ba may
Ayun,
Swiftie
may
pa tayo
Swiftie
dito?
in here.
Nanood ka ba? Sa Singapore?
Yeah,
Tapos
grabe.
nag-Singapore, tapos nag-Coldplay ka rin sa Singapore ba? Tama ba? Sa Taiwan? Lakas mag-travel talaga nito. Laki ng sinusweldo. Okay, sige. Next, we have, interesting to. Beyonce versus Rihanna.
I would pick Rihanna over this one, pero dahil bias ko lang siya over Beyonce. I grew up with Rihanna's music more than I did with Beyonce. So I'm picking Rihanna in this feud.
Okay. Well, ako din.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more of yung klase ng audience din na meron si Rihanna I believe would be more advantageous kapag pinag-compare mo to sa clout online din So, yeah. I might be wrong. Sorry dun sa mga Beyonce fans dyan. And I know a couple of people na they would really hate me for that. Okay. Next, ito. Steph Curry or LeBron?
I don't know, man. I'm a LeBron fan.
Wait lang. Objective natin is internet. Hindi best player. Hindi best shooter. Hindi best shooter. Okay, win the internet today.
Who would win the internet today?
Viral tweet stream project.
They're both they're both funny if they wanna be.
Yeah.
Laki rin nung audience base nila. But I think LeBron is the older athlete. So he's the one who's going to be appealing to more people. So yeah, just by sheer experience, mas malaki siguro yung audience niya. Kaya LeBron mananalo nito kapag naglaban-laban sila sa tweets nila. Yeah.
Okay. Ha? Sino?
LeBron? Yeah,
Si LeBron.
the haircut thing. Barber.
Yun. Talaga? Interesting. Okay. Sige, ito next. I'm not sure if you're a fan of football, but Messi or Ronaldo?
I'm not a fan of football.
Pero you know these people.
Yeah, I know that there's if there's a LeBron or Curry or LeBron or MJ, mga ganun. I think these two are pitted together as well. No, probably I'll take Ronaldo. Yeah.
Eto. I Show Speed versus Kai Cenat.
That's a tough one. I'll do Speed because I think he's funnier.
Yeah.
Laugh trip din naman si Kai, but I think Speed is just so good at improvising.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he can control an audience. I don't like nakita mo yung episode ng WWE na si
Which one?
Speed. Si Speed. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, I don't think Kai can pull that off. So parang feeling ko only somebody like Speed will be able to.
Something na sobrang versatile kasi ni Speed. Na,
Yeah.
Grabe, anything, parang he can do a lot of things na multi-talented siya, very athletic, na a lot of streamers cannot do. And he's using that as a form of entertainment din for people.
Yeah. I feel like si Kai is more strategic. He's like, don't get me wrong, these are the top creators of
True.
of Twitch and
True.
YouTube. So parang like comparing them is, it's useless because they're already the best. But I feel like so it's a matter of taste siguro. Yes, and in that case, I feel like Speed will win on the internet because I think Speed cares less about what he says than what Kai would. So,
Yeah.
Parang mas loko-loko si Speed eh.
Yeah. Totoo. I mean, over the past 6 months or 12 months, Speed has more virality over. Pumunta siya dito sa Pilipinas, yung Meow Meow, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Diba?
Yung kay Pacquiao din.
Yung kay Pacquiao din. Nakipag-racing siya kay Ashton Hall.
Yeah.
Yung lalaki na nagsimula nung...
Yung nasal strips tsaka yung mouth
nasal
tape.
strips, saka yung mga mouth tape, di ba? So, almost every month or every other month, there's a viral contest. So, if we're talking about like virality, I think Speed would, kasi it doesn't care eh.
Yeah.
Kasi he just throw himself there and let's see what sticks, di ba?
I think he's also younger. He's younger than Kai, so he has, I would say yung ceiling niya sobrang layo pa.
Okay, yeah, interesting. Okay, probably last, local tayo. Ann Curtis or Nadine Lustre?
That's tough. Wait, pag naglaban sila sa internet?
Yun yung objective natin.
Sure yun Okay.
Yun yung
Just
ano
be clear.
natin.
Did you know that si Ann Curtis yung unang verified Twitter account na Pilipino?
I didn't know that.
Siya yun. And I think, I mean, this is not at all verified information, pero kung di ako nagkakamali, because siya yung unang verified Twitter account sa Pilipinas, I think that time, one branded tweet would go for 200K. At that time, which is crazy.
Wow.
Many years ago.
Okay.
So anyway, I would say Taylor Swift too. I would say Ann Curtis. Just because she's been around longer. Much more influence as well than Nadine Lustre. Yeah.
And then also a lot of endorsements right now.
Yeah, like I think Ann Curtis has a really unique gift of being marketable.
That's true.
To every kind of market.
Yeah.
She can do the most sophisticated brand deal and kaya niya rin gawin yung pinakakalog na brand deal.
That's
and
true.
It's gonna work.
Oo.
Yeah.
Pero ang galing ng management niya. Ako, I really appreciate. At saka sobrang, parang for you to maintain that trend of career, being a child actress.
Yeah.
Even up until now, na brands are still like, want to partner with you. Palagi nga daw siyang absent sa Showtime eh. Nakikita ko lang, ito mga pop culture references ko, nakikita ko lang sa TikTok. Pero because of so many projects nga na meron siya. So,
Never nawala, no?
Never nawala. So, kaliwat kanan, even the biggest brands, for some reason, grabe, ang galing.
I think she's one of the top Filipina earners, celebrity earners in the Philippines. I think
top 3? Nasa top 3.
Yeah, only next to... Well, I don't know how old this information is, pero parang only next to Pia Wurtzbach at the time. Yeah.
But I think there was a time na... Ewan ko tama yung pagkaka-recall ka. Just recently, it's Sharon Cuneta, Vice Ganda, and... basta si Ann Curtis, never nawala siya. Safest is top 5. Parang ganun.
Yeah,
there was
galing,
this year.
galing.
Ang galing. So,
I mean, imagine being top 5 for 3 decades.
Yeah.
Yun yung malupit. Like, it doesn't matter if you're number 5 all the time, but if you're number 5 all the time for 30 years,
yep.
Come on.
Ang dami mo nang dinaan.
Yeah,
ang dami mo
galing.
nang nilaglag dun sa dun sa listahan na yun. Pero yeah, I mean, it's crazy, guys. So, kung mapapansin niyo, with everything that we discussed, the ultimate currency nowadays is attention. So, kahit ano pa yan, regardless, kahit even for brands, no, kahit gaano ka kung maganda man o pangit ang produkto mo, it all boils down to who knows you more. Diba?
Yeah.
So,
be
yun.
responsible too with
Be
that
responsible.
currency. Yeah.
Of course. So, with everything that we are consuming online, in just, we can just pick up our phone and then see what's happening. We have to be very careful also on how we react. One click can damage either people or companies or us. No, so we have to be very careful. Content creators. They're also trained, diba? And they're very cautious as well kung paano yung sasabihin nila. Some of these are media trained, no, to make sure na you still keep on loving them, diba? So yun.
It's a tough balance, right? Between being always being politically correct, being media trained, and being who you are.
Yeah.
Because if you find yourself in the end where masyado ka nang filtered, you're just gonna sound like everybody else.
Yeah.
But if you're too unfiltered, you end up hurting other people also in the process, and you don't want that either.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's delicate balance between two ends that I think creators have to deal with all the time.
Yep. I agree. So yeah, scroll responsibly and consume responsibly, guys. And with that, again, so I think we talked for about 1.5 hours. No, ewan ko kung makaabot sa cut to. But yeah, again, guys, thank you for listening to this episode of Built Different. Again, thank you Shoppertainment for allowing us to use their studio, and I hope payagan pa kami for a lot of podcast episodes kasi ang ganda talaga ng studio.
Yeah, the soundproofing here is crazy. Ganda.
And everything. Ganda ng backdrop.
Carpeted yung floors.
Oo, no? Ang lamig.
Treatment.
Ilang monitors yun nandito.
I know.
Masaya yung mga nasa likod.
12 yata yung monitors na nakikita natin.
Nakikita ko yung sarili ko. Nakikita natin yung sarili natin dito. Camera 1, 2, 3. It's very, it's such a good setup. So yeah, again, Shoppertainment, thank you. And Carlos, thank you so much also.
All right, man. Pleasure.
I hope magawa natin to ulit siguro over a cup of tequila and mas marami.
Alam ko cup of whey.
Cup of whey. Pwede daw. Yeah, so again, guys, thank you again for listening, and we'll see you again on the next episode of the Built Different podcast.
See you guys.
The Built Different podcast would like to thank Henry's Cameras, Power Mac, Hollyland, U Green Philippines, Shoppertainment Live, Kappa Cabina, Surge Digital Media, Madcap Productions, Days Media Group, Jazz Up Communications.